first on Guam.
KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvil's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adai Thano program. Apply at matson.com. Cars Plus starts something new sales event going on now with up to 20% off on Jeep Gladiators. Get to Cars Plus today. And McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime. A shakeup for the agency that swoops in to help the Marianas during natural disasters. President Trump making a major announcement about FEMA. Plus, how would Guam do if the president changes operations for FEMA? The community reacting to the developing news. And staffing woes for the Guam Police Department, with more officers retiring or leaving for employment elsewhere. What's being done to keep more police on our streets? Coming up.
And with that, we say Hafide and good evening. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. This is KUAM News Primetime. I'm Jason Salas in for Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz-Lankas. Thank you so much for starting your week here with us.
Well, Destiny, the Federal Emergency Management Agency could be dismantled as President Donald Trump has made that announcement, and he did so over the weekend while touring devastated areas across the nation.
That's right, Jace. For the Marianas, FEMA has been involved in helping residents impacted by storms that hit our region. Tonight, KUAM has team coverage looking into how a potential switch up for FEMA could impact our community. Nick Delgado reports.
The Marianas region is vulnerable to typhoons and other natural disasters in this part of the Pacific. Among the players involved in recovery efforts over the decades has been FEMA.
We need to work together on all levels of government, private sector, nonprofits, to go ahead and help people as quick as we can. We're doing that here in the federal government.
That's FEMA Region 9 Administrator Bob Fenton Jr. during the aftermath of Typhoon Mawar in May 2023.
One of the things FEMA brings is mitigation money.
The recovery nearly 2 years later is ongoing for many. But how would we do without FEMA's help?
FEMA's no good anymore. Yeah. That was when we ran it. FEMA was very good, but now FEMA's not good.
Over the weekend, President Trump suggesting to get rid of FEMA.
I do have to say FEMA's a big disappointment. We had it working well. We had great people, but FEMA's not good anymore. What FEMA did in North Carolina, you know, they still haven't even gone to certain areas. They don't know what they're doing. And I say, you don't need FEMA. You need a good state government. And when you have a problem in Los Angeles, or when you have a problem even in the state of California, you have your own, essentially FEMA, you fix it yourself. You don't have somebody coming in from a state where they have no idea, like Florida. They come in from hurricanes, they have people staying in Alaska, and now they see, oh, this is very nice. But by the time they get familiar with it, they don't know anything. The FEMA is a very expensive, in my opinion, mostly failed situation. We had great people, we did some great jobs, but each state should take care of their problem and get money from the federal government. It would be so much better, so much more efficient. So we're looking at that because we have had, and you're going to have problems with FEMA too. You've already had problems with FEMA. FEMA doesn't even show up. It takes weeks before they even show up. And what happens is the state relies on FEMA and nobody does anything because FEMA doesn't show up. So it's not a good situation. So we'll make some recommendations.
President Trump signed the executive order establishing a FEMA Review Council. Recently sworn in Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth will be members. The council tasked to develop a report and advise the president on the existing ability of FEMA to capably and impartially address disasters.
Thanks, Nick. Well, many island residents are still grappling with the aftermath of Typhoon Mawar, and they're voicing their concerns as Trump suggests scrapping FEMA.
Now, critics warn the move could leave vulnerable communities without critical aid when they need it most. Our Joe Nugent-Charfers continues our team coverage.
We are no strangers to devastating typhoons. For decades, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, has played a crucial role in helping the island recover from such disasters. But now with the recent chatter of the federal government potentially scrapping FEMA under a Trump administration, many on the island are left asking what happens next. Residents like Marilyn Quintanilla of Laddie Heights says it will greatly affect the island.
It's really bad. If you scratch that out, I don't know who's gonna help, and it is a hard life here. It's not easy. Some people got it and some don't.
A man who wished to remain anonymous believes that it wouldn't affect Guam so much and we could still get the needed assistance elsewhere.
The reason why FEMA is slow, because they don't know the surroundings of the area, like the California or Florida or whatnot, right? They're coming in there. They need the local perspective to kind of guide them. I'd rather have the state or in us as a U.S. territory. I'm sure there is other avenues. We can still have FEMA, but it doesn't have to be necessarily FEMA, right? There's Navy can help, other programs, other nonprofit organizations.
While Guam remains resilient, the uncertainty of a future without FEMA leaves many with more questions than answers. Typhoons may be a part of this island, but recovery shouldn't be something we have to face alone. Junagan Charfris, KUAM News.
Well, as the heat kicks up on FEMA following President Trump's proposal to overhaul or get rid of the agency altogether, misleading claims of FEMA distributing its disaster relief funds to undocumented immigrants in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene are resurfacing.
Well, Des, meanwhile, locally, compacts of free association migrants on the island are still remaining ineligible to receive federal aid from Typhoon Mawar. Our next report is with Matsuki Hirayama.
Tonight, President Trump's criticisms of the Federal Emergency Management Agency coming to a head following visits to disaster sites. Trump signing his latest executive order to establish a council to reassess FEMA, stopping short of getting rid of the agency altogether. The order states in part the agency has, quote, lost mission focus, diverting limited staff and resources to support missions beyond its scope and authority, spending well over $1 billion to welcome illegal aliens. The diversion of FEMA funds is a widely spread false claim following Hurricane Helene, according to CBS News. The misinformation has long been debunked by FEMA's fact-checked website, which says that no money was diverted from disaster response needs. Meantime, locally, nearly 2 years after Typhoon Mawar, COFA migrants who legally reside in Guam and pay taxes are still not eligible for recovery aid.
We hope to get our hopes back together and rebuild what we lost.
According to FEMA, citizens from the freely associated states who lost their homes during the storm are not eligible for federal aid, though those with a child who is a U.S. citizen may apply under their child's name. Guam has the most COFA migrants at nearly 19,000, according to the 2018 U.S. Census Bureau.
It really impacts the whole entire family, the whole entire community here in Zero Down. It really hit bad. And we're struggling with supplies and everything that we need.
At the time, Senators, the governor, and Delegate James Moylan were pushing for their inclusion.
Some long-term goals that we have, but right now the President of the United States we're pending a letter to send to him to request that we wait for this purpose as humanitarian reasons, right? Well, we are going to, of course, the governor has expressed it's about being humane, right, and doing the correct thing, and this is why.
KUAM reached out to the congressman's office for an update. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
Continuing tonight's team coverage, local disaster management on Guam is closely monitoring Trump's plans for FEMA.
That's right. The administrator for the Office of Civil Defense weighing in as the totality of the situation continues to take shape.
Could the Federal Emergency Management Agency, better known as FEMA, face a future shift? President Donald Trump signing an executive order that may lead to reforms, an overhaul, or even the agency's elimination, which fall under the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. And while dismantling FEMA would require congressional approval, Trump emphasizing that states should take the lead on disaster recovery. KUAM speaking with Charles Estevez, administrator of Guam Homeland Security, Office of Civil Defense, for his insights.
Everyone, at least in the field of emergency management, understand that all disasters are really locally led and managed. So what FEMA does is they're in the support role and they can help us to get equipment and resources. I don't believe that the federal government will not be there for us when we need, in whatever capacity that may be.
Estevez says FEMA's role in assisting Guam is twofold: non-disaster and disaster.
During the non-disaster role, we receive grants from FEMA and also DHS headquarters. And the grants we receive from FEMA help us to basically run some of the operations, purchase equipment and supplies.
He says the agency also provides these supports.
They also run a grant called the Public Assistance Grant Program and the Individual Assistance Program. And so they provide money to individual households for losses sustained as a result of a natural disaster or even a human-caused one.
To note, after Typhoon Mawar devastated Guam in 2023, FEMA reported that by May 2024, the island had received over $338 million in federal assistance. This included grants from FEMA's individual and public assistance programs, as well as low-interest disaster loans from the U.S. Small Business Administration. Meanwhile, Trump has signed an executive order to create a review council to evaluate FEMA's performance. The council is expected to convene within 90 days and submit a report within 180 days of its meeting. Estevez noted he would have a more informed response once the review's details emerge. Guam Governor Lou Leon Guerrero's communications director Crystal Palco San Agustin stating, "We will review those plans as soon as they are published."
Now to what lawmakers think about President Trump's proposal.
Nivea Anderson has reaction from the Legislative Oversight Chair for the Committee on Emergency Management.
For decades, FEMA has been a critical lifeline for Guam in the aftermath of devastating typhoons and other emergencies. Without FEMA, questions arise about how Guam will cope with future disasters. Senator Sean Gumatautau, chairperson for the Committee on Emergency Management, says he views the president's decision as an opportunity to assess FEMA's operations.
I think that the president has every opportunity to do that. That is his function. And he looks at all the executive branch, and that really is his role. It makes sense right now, considering some of the response to North Carolina, more particularly for our region, Mawar, and the fires on Maui.
Gumatautau pointing out that this is not the first time the executive branch has ordered a review of the agency. In light of FEMA's recent responses to disasters across America, he says he's not giving up on the agency as they've been a critical partner for Guam. However,
maybe they're not as responsive in different parts of the recovery or preparedness side of the house. But I think that's where President Trump has the opportunity to look at what worked over the last 4 years, what hasn't, and make substantive changes to make it a better FEMA.
If FEMA were to be dismantled as an agency, the senator says Guam's government would need to seriously consider how to finance emergency management at the local level.
I think there would have to be a hard look at our government finances and how much money will the government use for emergency management. It would have to be a priority.
Gumatautau saying Guam has to be a part of the process of a potential reconfiguring to ensure that the U.S.'s mission to support its people in the territories is fulfilled.
We cannot forget our Guam delegate, James Moylan. He'll have a voice as well. And I think that it is, we have great history with FEMA.
Gumatautau remains hopeful that Guam's leaders will be involved in future dialogues surrounding FEMA's structure and how it will serve the territories moving forward. Nivea Anderson, KUAM News.
Now, KUAM did reach out to all the senators in the 38th legislature for a response desk.
Yeah, we will have their comments on KUAM.com.
Okay, and before we go to our commercial break, we've got some friends in the studio tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We have seniors from the Academy of Our Lady of Guam. They are journalism students, and they are visiting us right now. They're watching us do the newscast. Ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you, Cougars.
Go Cougars!
Woo, woo.
And if you guys don't believe us, make sure to check them out on Instagram right now. They're posting the selfies that they're taking over on our other set, on the KUAM couch. It's AOL Guam on Instagram. So check it out.
Did we get that right? Yeah, okay.
There you go. They're taking some awesome selfies. So congratulations to the Academy. Thank you for letting us open up our home to you and teach you about journalism. So good job.
Thank you, guys.
Stay tuned. We're back after this.
GU Self-Storage, located in Harmon next to McDonald's, offers a variety of storage units. With rates starting as low as $75 per month, we offer complimentary use of dollies, push carts, appliance hand trucks, and pallet jacks with fully covered loading and unloading areas, and ADA accessible unit. We offer 24-hour CCTV surveillance, monitoring alarm, and individual pin-coded gate and door access because your safety is our priority. Visit GU Self-Storage in Harmon or call 671-648-7867 for more information.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Welcome back to Primetime. Destiny, the question that is on everybody's mind right now is exactly how will operations and patrol within the Guam Police Department be affected? Over the last 3 weeks alone, there have been no fewer than 11 officers who have either resigned or retired from serving the community. Now, although the Chief of Police says half of those numbers are retirees, it still does remain a concern.
It's a matter that he has discussed with the governor and lieutenant governor and plans to address with the Public Safety Oversight Chair. Jonah Goncharfaris has more.
Between the end of the fiscal year to the beginning of the new calendar year, between September 31st to January is when people normally take, from my experience, people normally take that step and say, hey, it's time for me to go.
It's an alarming number. Within the past 3 weeks, there have been 11 officers with the Guam Police Department who have either resigned or retired. Police Chief Stephen Ignacio explaining how 50% of that number are retirees.
I read recently in an article in Police One that a lot of police departments are experiencing this because all the officers, like myself, who joined in 1987 or in the 90s, we're at that 30-year mark.
It's prompted talks with the governor and lieutenant governor of Guam, and Ignacio also has a meeting with Senator Sean Gumatautau, who's the Public Safety Oversight Chair. Ignacio says a new police cycle will be underway soon. There are 35 applicants who have passed the background check and polygraph and are now ready to move on to the psychological exam. This is from an original list of 78 applicants. But keep in mind, those that move on.
This is going to be the first cycle where they have to put pen to paper and says, I am committing to 3 years.
As we reported, it was during Governor Lou Leon Guerrero's State of the Island address where she announced the payback provision for new law enforcement recruits.
We will ask you to sign on to a minimum 3-year commitment to serve the agency you trained with. Should you leave government service early, you will be asked to repay the prorated share of your training cost.
Ignacio reassures the public that even with the number of officers leaving, there will still be officers out on the streets. With patrol the priority, he says if he has to, they will shift officers around and put them out. Jonah Goncharfaris, KUAM News.
And in other news, 3 people have been ticketed to date for panhandling along Guam's roadways. Attorney General Doug Moylan telling KUAM they are no longer giving warnings to anyone caught panhandling during their Panbusters operation. But the National Association of Social Workers Guam chapter condemned the AG's effort, stating criminalizing homelessness and poverty harms individuals already struggling with mental health issues, substance use disorders, disabilities, or the challenges of reintegration after military service. AG Moylan says he is disappointed by the association's pushback.
Panhandling has created a division in our community among the governor and her social workers and the law enforcement men and women officers in this community and the legislature. And their legislature is on our side here because we're tasked with enforcing the law. So my team has been very responsive. We've been looking at different ways of skinning the cat, so to speak. There is a cat and mouse game going on between the government of Guam, protecting the people of Guam and everyone at those intersections, and these panhandlers. We know that these guys are opportunistic. We know that they have communication devices, but we're going to shame them.
Now, this past weekend, Governor Leon Guerrero did sign an executive order officially establishing the Division of Homelessness Assistance and Poverty Prevention. Now, this comes under the Department of Public Health. This new division does build on the foundation of the Office of Homelessness Assistance and Poverty Prevention, further strengthening efforts to address our island's challenges with homelessness and poverty. Now, are you for or against relocating the U.S. Marine Corps to Guam? The U.S. Navy is now accepting public comments on a programmatic agreement memo supporting the Marines' relocation from Okinawa to our island. The community has until March the 10th to submit comments, with the Navy saying the memo provides new cultural and natural resources information associated with planned construction projects.
The memo touches on the construction of a youth center at Andersen Air Force Base. You can view the memo on the Naval Facilities Engineering Systems Command Pacific Cultural Information webpage. You can view the link by visiting KUAM.com.
Now let's take a look at another home, ours. Here's your world at home.
Here's a view captured from Santa Fe on the bay of the gorgeous sunset.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replay, and I'll be around. Whoa, you can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Let your people know. When it comes to the pickle to chicken ratio, some people, they playing in your face, but not the McCrispy. Let your people know. When it comes to the pickle to chicken ratio, some people, they playing in your face, but not the McCrispy.
Superspeed your life with Docomo Pacific Fiber Internet. Get symmetrical upload and download speeds up to 5 gigs. Get started with Fiber 500 at $145 a month, Fiber 1 gig at $215 a month, or Fiber 5 gig at $299 a month. Plus, get 2 SuperPod 6Es with any plan, and a free EcoFlow River 3 and bonus welcome kit with 1 gig and 5 gig plans. Experience tomorrow's islands today with Docomo Pacific Fiber Internet.
For 25 years, Cars Plus has been more than just a place to buy a car. When we opened our doors, our mission was clear: build lasting relationships and ensure every customer drives away with confidence. As a family business, we nurture our employees, passing down values of integrity and respect. We believe that strong values create strong relationships, ensuring that every customer who walks through our doors is treated like family. For 25 years, we've been driven by you and will continue to be for generations to come.
New year, new me. A year of possibilities starts now, and it all begins at Kmart. From health to home, we got everything you need to start fresh and thrive in the new year. Kickstart healthy habits with pantry essentials and nutritious options for your family. Keep your home sparkling with cleaning solutions designed to make life easier and fresher. Looking to crush your fitness goals? Find workout gear and activewear to get you moving. Need to revamp your style? Check out our newest apparel for the whole family. And for the heart of your home, discover appliances and home goods to make your life easier and more comfortable. Busy families, moms on the go, and everyone in between. Kmart is here for you. A fresh start is just one shopping trip away. Kmart, new year, new me, a year of possibilities. Find it all at Kmart.
Hey everybody, the Guam Fire Academy, the next generation of firefighters. They serve Guam and they do so very honorably and proudly. Shout out to those guys for making the choice to do that. And they are holding a fundraising 5K. It's the Bring the Smoke 5K. Man, they're bringing the smoke. It's a run, walk. You know, they're all about fitness. They're all about training. So make sure to join them. Ipoh Beach Park, Saturday, February 8th. Show up at 5 a.m. In Maina, over in Central Guam, Our Lady of Purification, the wonderful parish there, is having their Fiesta 2025 Novena and Mass, Monday through Saturday, starting on until the 31st. Novena is being held at 4:30 and Mass is at 5 p.m. Is White Lady Bridge Agani Heights or Maina? I never get that one right. All right, I'll figure it out in the back. All right, UOG is helping students who want to register for the spring semester make the right choices, take the right classes, get yourself started on a path to success. That's what we do at UOG. Home of the Tritons. Make sure to check out the one-stop registration event tomorrow, 9 to 4 over at UOG. All right, get involved because it's cool. I like that music.
Me too.
That's very cool. All right, that must mean it's time for your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shoutouts, and it is. So let's go.
Which you can submit on KUAM.com.
Hello and happy birthday to Kai Roberto, wishing you a safe and blessed birthday with love, hugs, and kisses from the Roberto and Macshot clan. Kai, we hope you have a fantastic day today on Monday the 27th, and we hope your birthday was absolutely awesome. And that's going to do it for your primetime live stream. Thanks so much, everybody, and I am Jason Salas.
And I'm Destiny Cruz-Lingus. Have a great evening and stay beautiful.
First, for where America's day begins, the Virginia-class bass-attack submarine now here in the U.S. territory of Guam. I'm Nick Delgado. You're watching a KUAM News special, Guarding the Tip of the Spear.
November 26, 2024, on U.S. Naval Base Guam. The USS Minnesota makes its historic entrance into Apra Harbor. U.S. Navy sailors on board get ready to reunite with their families after a long journey at sea across the Pacific Ocean.
He's not leaving at me!
Oh, there we go.
Erica Lewis and Katie Miller are Navy wives.
How long has it been really since you've seen your other half?
It's been a few months for me. For some of our other spouses, it's been longer, 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
It's been 3 months for me as well.
What's the feeling you're going through right now being this close?
Kind of trying not to cry. A little nervous, but I'm really excited.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. I've never been able to be pierside next to them. So it's an amazing feeling.
Is it the first time you guys have been to Guam?
This is the first time I've been to Guam, yes. Okay. And I love it so far. Everyone is so nice.
Yeah. What do you hope to share with your sailor once they...
Food. Food, yes, for sure. Definitely food and just like
the beaches
Yeah.
too. Just going out, going a bunch of hikes are near where I live too.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to like go out and like spend time with them.
An effort on land and in the water to secure the sub at the docks. Commissioned on September 2013 at Norfolk, Virginia, the USS Minnesota is the 10th Virginia-class nuclear-powered fast attack submarine to enter service. This next-generation class of submarines is replacing the aging Los Angeles-class fast attack submarines.
I think the fact that we are bringing our 5th submarine to be home ported here really exemplifies the importance of Guam from a strategic perspective. Here, centrally located in the second island chain, the ability to home port our submarines here gives us more players on the field. Ready to get into the game, and that is really what comes to bear when they get the submarine here. So very excited to welcome them here, looking forward to reuniting the crew with their families and an opportunity to get to know the people of Guam and really to enjoy this rich culture and get settled into the community here. So that part is very exciting to us, but really it is that strategic importance and bringing that high-end, high-capable asset here into this part of the world, getting a chance to operate directly in support of all of the initiatives of the Indo-Pacific Command.
The deployment to Guam is part of a larger U.S. Navy strategy to position its most capable forces in the Indo-Pacific region, a critical area where tensions are rising, particularly due to China's military assertiveness and North Korea's missile activities.
This is a big moment for the Pacific Fleet. We often will have submarines change home port to and from Guam. This is the first time we've had a Virginia-class submarine change home port. So it's the next generation of submarine, very advanced in both its stealth and lethality. So this is a big step to get the next generation of submarine home ported in Guam.
Having this here in this region, what does it mean for the people of the Marianas?
This is another example of our government outreach. So we've worked a lot with both Navy Base Guam and the community to welcome the families of the USS Minnesota on their journey to Guam. They've been in Hawaii for the last 2 years, and the ship is very excited to be home ported now in Guam.
How do we decide that Guam was the right place to move?
There's lots of decision making in the submarine strategic laydown for the area, and we decided that this was the best place to increase our number of submarines in the Pacific. It puts them closer in the Pacific, available for tasking.
The task is to defend America's front lines to Asia.
It just demonstrates kind of the importance that's being placed here on the Pacific region. So having a 5th submarine just buys local Navy leadership and our commanders operational flexibility. So it's really a great capability. This is the best and brightest and the most modern of our submarines coming here to be present in Guam. So it just brings it to the forward edge.
It really gives a message to our enemy forces. Look what we have to watch out.
The main thing is it just continues to assure our partners and our allies of the commitment we have to this area and bringing our best platforms to be present here in the Pacific.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Day 2 on U.S. Naval Base Guam, Commander Isaac Pelt shares a little bit about the USS Minnesota before taking us down below.
Commissioned in 2013, she is 11 years old, and now home ported in Guam under Submarine Squadron 15. So We'll take you on board. I guess things to note topside because she's a Block 2. She's got 12 vertical launch missile tubes up forward, and then she's also fitted out with 4 torpedo tubes that you'll see down in the torpedo room once we get aboard the ship.
Okay.
If you'll notice difference from yesterday to today, we landed racetrack. So just basically a system that we can use to conduct some extra inspections and look at other things on board while we're in port. So you'll see before next week we'll have that removed after we go do some inspections, look at some other things.
All right.
All right.
Sir, the Wikipedia entry says that this is about a $4 billion business.
That may be close. I can't speculate with the exact figures. I think the initial build for Virginia class submarines were somewhere in the $2 billion range.
Okay.
But then
I think it was adjusted for
inflation. Yeah, that probably sounds about right because that number that I'm remembering is from a long time ago.
I see.
Safe to say it's a high dollar amount.
Yeah, and I think that dollar amount probably can get pulled from one of the Navy or U.S. government websites for like the official figures.
A sunny and windy day up top.
We'll head aboard. Hey,
on deck.
Hey, carry on.
So you salute every time you come on board?
Yeah.
Critical SOPs in place when around these military vessels.
And there's a handle in there that you can use to help get yourself down. Down ladder. Hey, how's it going?
Going good. How you been?
Oh, I'm doing all right. We're bringing folks down for a tour.
Our visit is not the normal view whenever sailors on the USS Minnesota are out at sea.
What's it like working in a submarine?
It's kind of hard for me to describe it because I've been doing this for 20 years. So this is just
second
work.
nature.
This is work for me.
Yeah.
But you know, it's definitely a different a different world, especially when you're talking about life while you're at sea compared to life when you're aboard. So what you're going to see today is actually going to be a little bit strange even for us in port because since we just got here yesterday, we have a large number of people who are off hull, like working on their, working on getting settled in, making sure that, hey, where they're staying right now is like good to go and things like that. So there's a large number of people off of the ship working on that, and then we do have some folks here and there doing some maintenance, getting ahead on a few things. So we do have a few off-hull support contractors and things like that that are working around the ship. So it's not what you would typically see in a normal import day, but yes, import periods are very different compared to at sea and underway periods.
Security measures are also taken into account during our visit.
So right now we're in forward compartment upper level. This is probably the best example. I don't need you to actually take photos in that, but best example of berthing for general, anywhere from enlisted to junior officers can end up with staterooms or accommodations that look like this. They're, depending on which one you're looking at, they're either 5 or 6 to a bunk room. We do have some other bunk rooms that are a lot more personnel and, a little bit tighter. And it's different from most of the officer staterooms, but this is like a typical berthing area.
Next, we see the lockout trunk.
Be able to lock out various special forces personnel, as well as we can use this also for escape. So this is kind of unique to the construction of the Virginia class submarine and gives us more capabilities as far as, hey, what we can or cannot do. Other submarines can, of course, support doing certain activities as well, but because we're built for this, we're all designed to
Yeah. I see how you guys can go out while you're below and underway.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So that is one of the nice key design features. This is the weapon shipping hatch. Right now it is shut, but this is part of how we would load weapons on board. So if you notice, these deck tiles here are actually bolted into the deck because they're all designed to be removable. So we can remove these as well as the ones the next level down and have this hatch open, and we install an additional set of rails, and that is how we move weapons down to the torpedo room. So I'll kind of point it out middle level and then down to the torpedo room, kind of what that looks like.
So all of these lift.
Yeah, so these just come out all together.
It's a high power and lethal vessel.
It's inside this room. You see more than 24 screens and monitors around the entire area. It's their eyes while they're underway.
With greater controls.
Welcome to control. This is where we actually drive the submarine from. This is where all of the command and control for the submarine comes from. When we're on the surface, like I said before, we do man the bridge. Normally the officer of the deck is up there, but the officer deck is really up there, one, for having greater height of eyes so they can see further to the horizon, and greater situational awareness because they're not limited to looking out of a scope. They can see 360 degrees, they can just turn around.
Yeah.
But they're still just relaying orders down here to control, and control is what's actually driving the ship as a whole. So where we're at right now is our ship control system. So ship control system was one of the new designs brought by the Virginia class system. So if you see any of the most of the older submarines, like everything was done with hydraulics pushing other hydraulics, and multiple operators under the control of a diving officer of the watch. Here, that's all kind of being combined. So just one of these setups, one joystick, can control all of the control surfaces on board the ship to drive the ship. So instead of having multiple junior operators responding to the commands of a senior operator, it's one senior operator who is capable of driving the ship on his own, and there are both automatic and manual features built into it.
Again, for security reasons, the screens here are shut off.
Right now we have sonar secured because we're in a shutdown lineup right now. But
typically, what does this look like when the screens are all active?
Yeah, so when they're all up, there are multiple displays showing sonar energy coming in from the various sensors that we have on board. So we have a number of differently designed sensors that we're able to use and we're able to gain information from. So a lot of times we refer to sonar as the truth, because that is actually like listening to what's actually out there in the world, and as we find things of interest, the information from there gets passed over.
We feel what it's like to get behind the controls. It's similar to that of a game controller.
I can't effectively employ weapons against a target if I don't know, hey, kind of what else is around me.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
And they also will use not just information from sonar, but also information from the periscope itself, and any other information that we have, we can actually put into fire control and help build that picture around us tactically, so we know, hey, what's going on, as well as just being able to manage contact. So even if we're just driving on the surface, like, we'll have a radar picture, but we'll also send contacts over to fire control so they can provide an extra layer of backup.
The Bottle Shack is fully stocked and ready to deliver your favorite wines, spirits, beers, and more to your front door in a safe, fast, and reliable way via the UnoGo app. We've got you for everything. Happy hour at home, the big celebration, a romantic night in, even when it's just a restock. Delivery with the Bottle Shack on UnoGo is a game changer. They have your favorite sodas, ice, energy drinks too. Download the UnoGo app today or visit www.uno-go.com. Must be 21 or older to purchase. Drink responsibly.
Inside the USS Minnesota at Naval Base Guam, we head another level lower into the torpedo room.
You'll notice, as I said before, because of the size of the weapons, it's very specific how we bring them down. So we have to do a lot of reconfiguring of the middle of the ship, but we do remove multiple deck plates. We install a deck skid up topside, and that helps line the weapon up and line the weapon up to slide into one of these cradles. And then we bring the cradle itself down into the room. And then once the cradle is down in the room, we can index these cradles around to where we need them to go. So that being said, if I were to offload all of these weapons, this actually becomes a very open area, like really the largest just open area on board the submarine, which is different than the way a lot of the older submarines are constructed, where the stows are like hard mounted in place and you bring the weapons down and then move the weapons down across stows. Instead, we just move the cradles around with the weapons in them. So these are Mark 48 ADCAP torpedoes. They're heavyweight torpedoes, so they're designed capable of being effective.
The military plans to bring more of these Virginia-class fast attack submarines to Guam.
Because they're incredible pieces of machinery, there are maintenance requirements that are done on the weapons as well. So over time we do cycle those out.
Could you put into perspective for us what kind of damage one of these could cause?
So I'm fairly certain you can find some YouTube videos that'll show results of Mark 48 exercises, but they're sink X's that we've done with very old ships that will be sunk in order to start reefs. One can actually break up fairly large surface ships. Okay. Against a submarine, like one of these, like pretty much one into one.
Just one. Wow.
Just one. So very, very capable weapons. And that is one of the reasons why we carry them.
Since you've been in commander, have you had to deploy any of these, or just for training?
So personally, I've shot exercise weapons only.
Okay.
All right. So we'll talk about torpedo tubes themselves. So we have 4 tubes on board. These are tubes 2 and 4, tubes 1 and 3 over there. So these tubes we actually line the weapons up, the cradle up with the tubes that we can hydraulically load the weapon into the tube, and then basically using air can then cycle the weapon to fire the hydraulically launch the weapon from the tube. So
is it pretty instant to get this into there?
I wouldn't say instant. Right. It does take some time, and it does take a trained and professional crew, because if you think about it, there are certain things that need to happen at that end of the torpedo room. There are things that need to happen at this end of the torpedo room. Mm-hmm. There's stuff that needs to happen over here on the control panel, and they all have to be in sync. Yeah. So if your team is not trained up and proficient, it will take a very long time to get one of these in here, but a trained and proficient team can actually execute pretty quickly.
How often do you guys run through those training scenarios just to keep them sharp?
So depends on what else you have going on, but that is something that you will spend a decent amount of time every underway working on. There are some requirements depending on what you're doing and what you're loading weapons for that we do work around, but that is something that you have to drill your teams with pretty frequently in order to not lose that edge, especially because people turn over. People who may start off operating back there, eventually they're gonna work their way up to operating on the panel or being overall in charge of the room.
Yeah.
And depending on like how many you're moving, you may have a team that's working over here and another team that's working over there. So the overall supervisor for the room has to communicate with both. And if we're fighting in an engagement, like we can shoot the tubes from down here, but the tubes are normally shot from control. So the team in control who's, positioning the ship to where it needs to be in order to, shoot when they need to shoot, they need to understand what's happening down here. So as the overall room supervisor down here, you're responsible for making sure, hey, both sides of the room are operating in concert safely, and then communicating up to control, letting them know, hey, how long until they're going to get the next tube ready.
A lot of moving parts for a critical mission out at sea.
And these are the torpedoes. It's armed and ready to respond whenever they hit combat enemy forces.
But there's so much more that goes into making this submarine livable.
The most vital piece of equipment in the room is actually directly behind me. So this is our diesel generator. So it is the emergency diesel generator. So we're obviously nuclear powered, so that is what provides electrical power as well as propulsion, and we also can make water and air based on that. But the diesel is the backup in case we did need to shut down the reactor for whatever reason, and we can also use it as a means to drive ventilation for the submarine.
And it's comfortable, you can breathe easily.
Yeah, so right now it's very easy because we're just doing a normal surface ventilating, so we're just pulling air from outside and cycling it through the ship. That way I don't have to keep the run hours on this high. I can just start this up before we get underway and then like shut it down once we get back into port. But these are very reliable, very efficient pieces of equipment. So this is what we use to generate oxygen. Up here we have our scrubbers, and these are what we use to remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere.
And with most military vessels, there's a medical area and a dining area. It's like a mini town underwater.
They come in and get an opportunity to eat and then leave. So it's a fairly efficient process that we have to go through 3 times a day as the watches turn over. But outside of meals, this is also a place where we do training for large groups. We also use this for larger meetings, and then when all that stuff isn't going on, this is the area for the crew to just come and relax.
Okay.
So generally underway as you come through here, you may see people playing cards, you may see people playing video games, people may be watching movies on the large screens, that sort of thing.
Taking that time to really unwind.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then as you look around, you'll see a lot of the artwork is inspired by, one of the themes, one of our biggest sponsors for the ship. So like we're USS Minnesota. Minnesota has a lot of, Nordic heritage, like that's why they're the Minnesota Vikings. So like there's, for our crew, like I normally refer to, everybody in the crew as the Vikings. So,
okay.
So yeah, you'll see a lot of artwork around the ship, really reflects that. Okay. Even down to, our crest and things like that.
In here, you can expect to find crystal clear audio, expansive display space, endless entertainment, and more comfort for everyone. But even with all that, we still left room for all the unpredictability, spontaneity, and unexpected things you'll find out here. The new 2024 Grand Cherokee lineup. Jeep, there's only one.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
The USS Minnesota, a Virginia-class nuclear-powered fast-attack submarine, is lethal. Its presence in the Marianas brings reassurances that guarding the tip of the spear is a top priority for the U.S. military. We wrap up our visit in the wardroom. It's here that a lot of the training and decision-making happens, along with an added space for the sailors to relax.
And this is our place to relax. One of the interesting points that I was mentioning before, so Doc's space is back there, and that's where he can, privately meet with sailors, conduct exams and things like that that he needs to. But in an emergency, the wardroom table is a place where if he needed to perform surgery, he could. And that's why, if you notice, the emergency lighting is actually aimed at the table itself. And if you notice, some of the lockers